All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining on this program. This is a Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now with that, we're going to be talking about tough love. We're going to be talking about the Bible's tough love. But before I get started, let me go ahead and thank everyone who has been supporting the ministry. Appreciate it. Everything counts. Everything helps towards, keeping the ministry going and getting the things that's needed so that we can get out this word. Thank you for joining, and Shabbat Shalom, one and all. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and hit that notification bell, like, share, subscribe, and we will go ahead and get started. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and talk about, the Bible's tough love. Sometimes we think, things that, that we have to deliver things or say everything in the most just soft and kind and gentle. And yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's good. I mean, it depends. It's time and a place. But then there's also a time and a place for tough love. Would you not agree? Would you not agree with that? That sometimes it's good, that it is good to deliver some tough love, because sometimes people receive a message differently. Okay, so sometimes we have to do what we have to do in tough love. Now with that, let's go ahead and jump over to Romans. This time I'll be reading out of the King James, if you will. Let's go to Romans 13. Okay, so Romans 13. And when we get there, we're going to read 8 through 10. Now, Romans 13. Now, I like going here because it's like, it's fun. It's funny because I've been doing this for a number of years, and a lot of times I get a lot of, Sunday Christians, and they believe that you don't have to do anything. It's just easy believism. You don't have to keep the law. You don't have to do any of these type of things. And I'm like, I just love to come here, and it flies in the face. You could just see, when they're not aware that it's right here, you could just see the cognitive dissonance in their face. You could just see and then they figure out, they scramble. Now, some of them do know. Some of them know it's in there, and they already have a canned answer for it already, right? To just kind of ignore, what it actually is saying, because Paul actually did teach the law. He actually did teach that we should keep the law, okay? But you know how it goes. You know how they go. So let's go. 13, we're going to start at verse 8. Verse 8 says this: "Owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another has fulfilled the law." And a lot of times they want to stop right there. But they don't want to ask, well, what does it mean? How have you fulfilled the law, and how is loving, what does it look like, to love my neighbor, to do that? Like what does that look like, right? And so if you said 9, you could say, this is how you do it, right? You could say that, right? 9, it says, "For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." Now, if you've been following the ministry any period of time, you know that we go over the law, we talk about the law, we teach the law, right? And so we know that there are other commandments, like he said, like he alluded to, right? It's called the whole Torah. So there are other commandments and things like that. But they want to pretend that, well, we don't have to do anything, that it is briefly summed up and everything. I mean, just because something is summed up, that doesn't mean the details have gone away, right? It is summed up. See, and I say that because the all too familiar refrain is when they say, well, the New Testament doesn't mention this law, doesn't mention that law, doesn't. Okay, so why would it retail all of the other law? I speak to them that know the law, right? Why would it have to retell every single law found in Torah? It's not going to do that. Now, it will encompass it if it says, law of Moses, or if it says like in Acts, and Moses taught in the synagogue every Sabbath day. Okay, so we know what's going to come out in that. So, but a lot of them try to be slick, right? But this is tough love. You have to tell them like it is. You just got to tell them, look, brother or sister, I'm sorry you feel that way. But I don't care if you run Old Testament, New Testament, whatever, you cannot get around it. Okay, it stands. Now, whether or not you keep it, that's a different story. But whether or not it stands, I'm telling you, it stands. And that's just how it is. Period. But they don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear it. But he read all this here. And what we doing? It was, let's see, did I read 10? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. Now, guys, before we get in there and get any further, do me a big favor, because I wanted to be a little bit more participatory, right? Go ahead and participate. When you hear the scriptures said out, announced to you, when I tell you what it is, and we read it and you see it, put it in the comment section, put it in the chat. Put it in the comment and just boom, 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 boom. Why? Because it's more participation, and the people who are just not joining right now, they can catch up. They can just look at the chat. Okay, what did they read already? That kind of thing, right? If they're not here on time. So if you do me that big favor, that'd be great. Yes, and most of the time, as you can see, as you go through our channel, most of the time the scriptures are right there in the description box, right? But sometimes when you're looking at it live, when you're looking at it as it drops or whatever, it may not be right there or accessible, right? So let's go ahead and look at it real quick. All right, we're going to go over to Leviticus, because a lot of times they keep thinking that this is like a brand new, the new commandment. All you got to do is just, love your neighbor as thyself. That's it. That's the new law. That's the New Testament law. And then you have to break the bad news to them and say, this is not, that's not new, right? Paul got that from the Old Testament, right? That comes right out of Torah, right? And so you take them over here to Leviticus 19, and we're going to read 17 and 18, right? And it says, what? Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, right? And not suffer sin upon him. So there's the tough love part, right? There's the tough love part. You want to rebuke your neighbor, right? Then in 18 it says, thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So where's new? Where there's no new. They even think, love God with all thy heart, might, soul, body. They say all that, right? And they think that's new. But we know that's in Deuteronomy. It says, love, you shall love thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul. Tough love. You just have to tell them. You just have to tell them like it is. It is what it is. I know they want to get around it. I know that. I realize it. I know. But let's not twist the scriptures just to make someone feel better, to make them comfortable in doing whatever it is that they're trying to do, which is get around the law. It's just tough love. Now, again, you guys know my delivery. It just depends, right? It just depends. It depends on who I'm talking to, how I deliver it. I talk to someone who knows better. I'm going to be a lot more firm. I'm going to give a lot more pushback against someone who claims to know. Someone who does not know, maybe a little more patient. A little bit more patient. But brothers and sisters, man, some of these people, they just cannot take some tough love. And that's just how it is. They just cannot take it. Let's continue over in Ecclesiastes. Okay? Let's go over to Ecclesiastes, and we're going to go to chapter 7 in Ecclesiastes. Okay? And when we do chapter 7, I'm going to read one verse, 5. And it says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools, right? The rebuke of the wise, like, hey, man, you know better than this, right? Because it can get you back on the right path. It can set you straight. It can put your feet on solid ground. That's the difference. The song of fools, I have you keep doing what you are doing. Will have you continue in delusion. You think you're right, or you think you have something. No. If you're wrong, if you're high, haughty, you exalted yourself and you think you got it all figured out. No. Over the years, there's been certain things or certain doctrines that, I thought I had it. I was like, yeah, okay, it's this, it's that. And then upon further review, I'm like, oh, okay, got it. I even have a lesson on this channel I call it upon further review. Okay, something that scriptures or something that have been taken out of context, or doctrines that are wrong, backwards, little things that we think we know, think we have figured out, and then upon further review, it may be something a little bit different to be corrected. It's really that simple. Now, if I'm talking to a peer, someone wants to come talk to me, then it's more of a come let us reason together. If you talk to someone else who don't quite they're not quite as learned in the scriptures, then it's going to be an open rebuke. But if they have this arrogant, haughty spirit, it's going to be an open rebuke. It's going to be tough love. It's going to be like, okay, look, you say it's X, Y, Z with an explain ABC. It's really that simple, right? Let's go over to Psalm 141. Okay, let's go over to Psalm or Tehillim 141. Okay, and when we get there, we're going to read 4 and 5. 141, we're going to read 4 and 5. Okay, this says what? Incline not thy heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity. And let me not eat of their dainties, which is like a delicacy, right? Don't eat of their delicacies, okay? So don't go hang out with a den of thieves and a bunch of wicked men, and then when they celebrate and relax and all, don't join into that, right? Just don't do it, right? And then verse 5, it said, let the righteous smite me. Okay, smite means hit, right? Strike, right? So he said, let the righteous strike me. It shall be a kindness. See, it's one of those things where you have to tell that butter muffin, you got to give him a couple of elbows and say, look, man, you know better than this. What are you doing? Come here. Let me talk. Get this elbow right quick. You know what I'm saying? That's tough love. That's tough love. You guys know what I'm saying, okay? But it's the thing is, if it's righteous, if a righteous person have that rebuke, that's okay. That's like, okay, all right, my brother's trying to get me back on the right path. They want me to walk in righteousness, want me to inherit the kingdom, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you think about it, it's kind of like, think about a sports coach, right? Think about it like a football coach or something like that. He's all in your face. He's getting after you. He's pushing you. And sometimes he gets you uncomfortable. Coaches get you out of your comfort zone, right? So what if a person in this walk, what if I'm getting you out of your comfort zone and you just fall into the kingdom because I just made you uncomfortable? Tough love. Is that tough love okay? Is that okay? Or what if I rock you to sleep being really nice and gentle and passive and docile, and I entreat you with softness, and brother, why can't we just work together? The Most High really wants the best for you, and He understands. I mean, if you don't want, He knows this Torah is a little too much. He knows that, and He understands your heart. He gets it. So don't worry about it. It's just about love. It's just about love. Do you believe? Do you believe? And then what? At that point, I might as well sing you a Jodeci song. Do you believe in love? Right at this point. I mean, come on. I can be nice and it'll send you right to the flames. Or I can have tough love and say, look, man, if you don't straighten this out, the life after this, you are not going to want. This is not what you want. What's promised after this, if you don't walk in righteousness, if you're not found in the Lamb's Book of Life, it's over. Period. What's waiting on the other side? If you are in the wrong resurrection, there is no coming back. Tough love. Let's continue, brothers and sisters. Let's go to 2 Timothy. Let's go to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 4. That's first. Let's go to 2 Timothy. And we're going to go to chapter 4. And we're going to read the first 4 verses, chapter 4. Okay? 2 Timothy 4, starting at 1. I charge thee, therefore, before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort, with all long suffering and doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables, turn unto stories, turned unto lies, turned unto myths, turned unto fantasies. Tell me what I want to hear, basically. That's what's going to happen. And it has already happened. It's been happening for years. It's happened then at the time of this writing. It happened in the past, say unto us smooth things, tell us lies, prophesy unto us lies. It's been happening since the beginning, and it is still happening right now. You tell someone, people rather hear a sweet lie than a hard truth. They don't want this tough love. It's too much. Even right now, we think in this country we have freedom of speech, and we really don't, because you can be banned, you can be canceled, anything. And harshly enough, you can be put in jail for saying too much of the wrong thing. Guys, there's something to be said about tough love, just being told what it is and let the chips fall where they may. Now, am I saying that you should always go out and be belligerent and curse somebody out and all that? I'm not saying that. I'm not necessarily. I'm not. Okay, it's not that. Will you win something like that? Sure, you get a couple people. You get a couple people like that. So I'm not saying that you got to be militant and you got to be spitting hellfire and brimstone and all that. You don't have to do that. But I'm also not saying that you got to be, soft-spoken and, this smiling Joel Osteen type of, delivery. You don't have to be that either. But sometimes to everything there is a season. And sometimes we have to deliver tough love. Let's continue. Deuteronomy 22. Let's look at something here real quick. Deuteronomy. Join me in Deuteronomy 22. And when I get to Deuteronomy 22, I'm going to start at 13. 22, we're going to go 13 to 21. So want to help me out there? Deuteronomy 22, 13 to 21. 13 says this: if any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, right? And he upset, right, for whatever reason, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, or found her not a virgin, right? She's not pure, she's not all that, right? And then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the token of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. Now, the token of virginity in that time was something like, you can say like a napkin of sorts, and it will be placed under her. So when her hymen was broken, then you have evidence that she was a virgin. Okay, so the mother and father took a token because you took a deal. The reason I did that, okay, for those who think it's like archaic or something like that, this really isn't. The reason you do that is because you have to pay a bride price, right? And in this case, you're paying the price for a virgin. So you want a virgin because that's the price you're paying. Okay, there's no price for someone who's been defiled, right? But there is a virgin, there is a bride price right there, right, that you want to pay, and you want to make sure you're getting what you paid for, right? So, and it says, then shall the father of the damsel and the mother take and bring forth the token of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. Right? He's talking trash, basically. He's doing her dirty. And lo, he has given occasion of speech against her. So he's talking trash. Saying, I found her not a maid. Like she was, he's basically trying to say, she's a 304 or something like that, right? Or at least she's not a virgin. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. See, they spread the cloth. See, look, she was a virgin when I gave her to her. And the elders of that city shall take the man and chastise him. Look up what chastise is, okay? Okay, it can be verbal, but it can also be physical. Just look it up, okay? Look it up in your Strongs. All right, and then it says, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. So he talked all that trash. He paid a bride price. Now more money's been heaped on the father because he tried to, have a bad name. And notice that she still becomes his wife. Okay, so no, that's your wife now. Okay, she's with you. And what I think a lot of people don't understand is that the Most High want the daughters of Zion to be covered, to be with a husband. But notice they rebuke him. Notice they chastise him and say, "Hey, man, hey, hold on, you can't wait." What? After they bring that token of the token of her virginity or whatever, because the father and the mother, they say, whoa, he's talking about she's not a virgin. Woom. Here's our proof. She was a virgin when we gave her to her. And so the elders looking at it and they like, okay. Hey man, come here. She's a virgin. You keep her. Now he's gonna get some more money. Tough love. Okay, tough love. That's just how it is. That is how it is, okay? So I'm going to read up to 21, okay? He can't put her away all his days, verse 20. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of her virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she has wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shall thou put evil away from among you. Tough love. See, purity. Purity was important even in that day. Purity is still important today. You just don't get it. You just don't get much of it. But you see, it is very, very important. There's a time where women had to keep themselves, because that's your purity was the highest value, the highest value. Oh, this is not right. This is archaic. No. See, the Most High want his women, his daughters, to be covered from cradle to grave. You're a little girl becoming a young woman, learning how to be a wife and a mother in your father's house. Then you actually become a wife and a mother until you die. Or if you end up being like a widow, you might get another husband along the way, should the Most High bless you with that. Or if you're just an elderly woman, you're basically a senior or something like that, then Israel is charged with taking care of the elders, the elderly. But he wants the daughters to be taken care of the whole way through. That's just a quick aside for those who think it's just something, archaic, it's not right, it's just old school. The day's coming that a lot of people are going to wish it was like that again. That's another lesson. Let's continue. We're going to go over to Joshua. Let's go to the very next book, right? Joshua, and we're going to go to chapter 7. We're going to move around, but I'll tell you where we're going to be reading, right? So Joshua, chapter 7, I'm going to read 1, jump to 5. I'm going to read 1, then read 5 through 6, and we'll jump around a little bit more. Okay, so chapter 7, 1, then I'm jump to 5. It says, but the children of Israel committed a trespass in the cursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, and the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, and the tribe of Judah, took the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. Now we're going to drop down to 5 and 6. Okay? 5 says this. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men. For they, I'm sorry, I can't. Right there. Okay. So for they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide. Even he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their faces. They was upset. They were vexed. They're anguished, sorrowful. They were upset. Okay, it's just a simple way to upset. So we just read 5 and 6. We're going to drop down to 10 through 12. 10 says this. And the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Like, why are you doing that, right? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I command them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also. And they have put it even among their own stuff, right? So all this accursed, abominable type things, they're hiding it and just keeping it and all that, right? And Joshua's upset that they're doing that, right? So we're going to read 12. It said, therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except ye destroy the accursed from among you. Right? So you're gonna lose these battles, Joshua. I'm just telling you, y'all gonna lose. I'm not gonna be with you. I'm not gonna help you fight your battles or whatever. As long as you got that cursed thing with you, I'm not gonna be with you. Make a choice, me or the accursed thing. Right? So that's basically what he's doing. Tough love. Tough love. We're going to drop down to 19. We're going to go 19 to 26. So 19, it says this. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment in 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted it and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver is under it. Right? So he said, this is where I hid it. I buried it in my tent. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all of Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garments, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his ass, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? Why y'all got us in this much trouble? See what you did, right? And the Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all of Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. Tough love, right? He got a little greedy. He saw what he wanted, because, Israel was getting in a lot of trouble. And he brought trouble onto Israel because of that. He wanted to loot what he found. He wanted to take the loot, basically. He wanted to take the loot, and he did, and he hit it. And everything went bad for them all the time. And then so the Lord spoke to Joshua and said, look, this is the reason why I'm not with you. This is the reason why I'm not dealing with you. And they put evil from among them. Now that's tough love, right? This guy had to die, him and his family, and get burnt all up. You see how it's important. This is tough, brothers and sisters. This is really, really, really tough. It really is. You see? You see how what someone else does can get you caught up. So what someone else does can get you in trouble. The company that you keep. You see? You see how when we read before, don't, be celebrating with evil men and participate in their dainties and all that. Don't do that. You see that? Corrupt company could, you know what? You guys should get it, okay? You should get it. You should get it. You shouldn't have. I shouldn't have to butcher a metaphor for you to get it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and keep it going, okay? We're gonna keep it going. Let's go on over to the New Testament, Matthew 16. We're gonna go to Matthew 16 now. Let's go to the New Testament. And when we get to Matthew 16, we want to start in 21 to 24. Matthew 16, 21 to 24. 21 says this. And from that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed and be raised again the third day. And then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord. This shall not be unto thee. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me. For thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So Peter went to rebuke or correct the Most High, or Messiah, the Mashiach, and ended up being rebuked or corrected himself. He was wrong. He wasn't aware of the mission. You see, when Christ came that first time, they thought that he was coming to restore Israel. Come, be their king, restore Israel, good to go. And that's why they didn't want to see him leave. But that visit, that wasn't the mission. That wasn't what that was for. And so they were confused at this fact. They were confused. And so he got rebuked. Tough love. Tough love, brothers and sisters. And this is from Peter, a disciple who's with him 3.5 years. And he got rebuked. Tough love. Let's keep it moving. We're still in Matthew. We're just going to go up a couple chapters. Matthew 18. You guys want to put that down there. Matthew 18. We're going to start at 21. Matthew 18. We're going to start at 21. And we'll jump around a little bit. All right. I'm going to actually back up on one. But let's go. 21. We're going to do 21, 22. 21 says this. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times? And Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Boy, that's rough. It's tough. That's tough love. That's a big order. That's a tall order, isn't it? That is a tall order. Forgive your brother 70, And a lot of times we do that with family, right? But we don't want to. We have the capacity to, but we don't want to. But that's tough love. So we're going to go back a little bit. We're going to go back. Let's go to 15. We're going to do 15 through 17, if you will. 15 says this. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established, right? And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican or tax collector, right? Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Okay, but we just want 17, right? We just want up to 17, 15 to 17. Okay, so you understand something goes wrong, you can go ahead and tell that person. Go tell your brother, your sister, right? You go there and tell them. They don't want to hear that, then you bring a couple of witnesses, right? So it's not a he said, she said thing, right? verify what you said, what they said, stuff like that. They don't want to hear that. Okay, then let's bring it to the church. Now, a lot of us don't even go through all these steps. Now, but I'm saying we should go through these steps. But a lot of us don't even go through these steps. We get enough feelings, we get upset, we get triggered, and I say we're ready to cut people off. Okay. But I'm giving you the biblical solution. This is the biblical solution. Now, if they don't want to hear the church and you're saying, look, man, this person wronged me, this person disrespected me, this person did whatever the case may be. Okay. And then they don't want to hear the church, they don't want to hear the church trying to, straighten it out, the pastors, the elders or whatever, then hey, treat them like, disown them, get away from them, separate yourself from them and just treat them like, hey, like you don't even know them anymore. Is what the Bible says. You just treat them like you don't even know them anymore. Okay, you just go from there. So let's continue. 1 Corinthians. It's tough love, but hey, that's the prescription. Sometimes that's exactly what the doctor ordered, right? So 1 Corinthians, we're going to go chapter 5. We're going to start the first 3 verses, then we'll move around. We're going to do verse 1 through 3, and then we'll do 9 through 13 of 1 Corinthians chapter 5. First 3 verses, it says, it is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Right? So it says in verse 2, it says, and you are puffed up and have not rather mourned that he that has done this deed might be taken away from among you, right? This person needs to go, need to be deleted, right? For I verily, as absent in the body, but present in spirit, have judged already. And though I were present concerning him that has so done this deed, right? So he basically saying, man, this is a crying shame that this is even happening. How could this grown man sleep with his father's wife? This is asinine. This is ridiculous. This is repugnant, repulsive, disgusting, vile. Think you guys get the point? Drop down to 9. We're going to go 9 to 13. It says, I wrote unto you in this epistle not to company with fornicators, yet not altogether with the fornication of this world, or with the covetousness, or extortioners, or with idolators, for then must ye needs go out of the world. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, which such a one know not to eat. Don't hang out with them. Don't be with them. It's not cool. You don't want to be around them. Get away from them, right? 12. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Like those who are not in this faith, in this truth, in this family, you can't judge them. Do not ye judge them that are within. Don't we judge those who are with us? But them that are without, God judgeth. Therefore, put away from among yourselves that wicked person. If someone is outside the congregation, outside the assembly, outside the law, outside, let God take care of it. But for you, you put them away from you. You get away from them. This is what he's saying. Tough love, brothers and sisters. But hey, it has to be done. Let's go to 1 Timothy. And when we get to 1 Timothy, we're going to go to chapter 5. We're going to read 19 and 20. So 1 Timothy chapter 5, 19 and 20. And 19 says this: against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. Them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear. Now what that means is that somebody mess up. Now, everybody else, they mess up. You got to let them know. You come out with it and be like, look, y'all messed up. This is what it is. Okay. Now, you talking about an elder, you got to have a little bit more respect, and you got to have some witnesses. You got to have a little bit more proof. You can't just go run off at the mouth, right? Because if you're wrong, then that's going to be on you. You're going to have to answer to that, right? Touch not my anointed kind of thing. Okay, it kind of falls on along those lines. So you want to be very, very, very careful before you go bringing forth a railing accusation against an elder or teacher or pastor or shepherd or whatever the title. Okay, So just keep that in mind. It's not that they're above reproach. It's just that you better be real sure. That's the point. Be very, very sure. Okay? But it's tough love. It is tough love. We're in 1 Timothy 5. We're going to go 1 Timothy. Let's back up to chapter 2. So we're in 2 Timothy actually. 2 Timothy chapter 2. And we're going to read 15 through 18. It says what? Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But what he says, but shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. People out there talking crazy, don't really know what they're talking about. They're just saying stuff to say stuff, saying stuff to get hurt, be heard, saying stuff to get people to follow them, saying things just to influence others is going to lead more and more and more to ungodliness, vain babbling, just saying stuff that strokes people's ego and stuff like that. I know I have some teachings that rub people the wrong way, but the question is not whether or not I rub someone the wrong way. It's just that what I said, was it true? Was it thus says the Lord? That's really what it is, right? So that's really what we have to focus on. But those who want to just vain babbling, I mean, just vain babbling, I mean, just stay away from those people. If there's no substance to what they're saying, no gravitas, check the veracity of what they're saying. Is it true or not? Because self-love doesn't always come in a nice, sweet package. So is it true what they're saying or not? That is the question. Okay? So, 2 Timothy, we're going to go over to Romans. And somebody jot down Romans 16 and 16. We go to Romans. We're going to do 16 and 16. Romans 16 and 16. Let's see. And we're going to read through 19. But 16 says this: salute one another with a holy kiss. The churches of Christ salute you. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. For your obedience is come abroad unto all men, and I am glad therefore on your behalf. But yet I would have you wise unto that which is good, and simple concerning evil. Right? So he's just saying, hey, be careful, because I'm hearing some things, and he's just saying, hey, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned and avoided. So he said, just mark them, point out who the people are. This person did this or said that. That person did this or said that. Mark that person. It's you have to. Oh, I ain't gonna name names. Hey, sometimes you have to name names. Sometimes you have to name names. You have a bunch of false prophets or false teachers or anything like that. Sometimes you just have to call them on the carpet. You just have to call them on the carpet. It is what it is. See, brother, look. See, brothers and sisters, look. Let me just pause just for a moment, okay? On a reason. Let's just pause to note. We're gonna have to develop thicker skin. We are, because the fight that we have in this world is dire. It's serious. It is our salvation that is on the line, and we're just playing games. We're trying to play nice. We have no sense of urgency. We're not getting, the gravity of the situation. Have you been outside your front door? Do you know what's going on in the world out there? You know what's going on? We have to man up and woman up. We have to get our acts together. We do. We have to get it together. We have to get on our purpose. We have to get on our grind. We have to get prepared for what is to come. Oh, he's just trying to scare. No, I'm just trying to shake you into reality of what's happening. Excuse me. It's getting real out there, brothers and sisters. It's getting real. There's a lot of things that are coming to pass and nobody's paying attention. Babylon is falling right now. A lot of things are moving behind the scenes. Things we don't know. Some things we do know that are hiding right in plain sight. And we're paying no attention. A reckoning is coming. What side of this war are you going to be on? What are you going to do? Or why are you not working out your own salvation with fear and trembling? Does that sound serious to you? Do you have any idea what's coming? What's on the horizon? Do you have any idea what is at stake? Are you thinking about that a bit? Your own soul salvation. Do you understand that you just might witness some real atrocities out here? You just may witness things that you may have never thought you would see in all your days. So we're going to have some thicker skin when it comes to matters of the truth, matters of doctrine. We're going to have to endure sound doctrine. We're going to have to endure tough love. It's not going to always, each message is not going to always just be nicey. It's not. Some of it's going to be tough because there's a sense of urgency. Because it's real. It's serious. You have to be sober. I mean, what are we doing? Always be prepared. Being vigilant. Watchful. Evil can creep into your home. It can come through your computer. It can come through the television. It can come through your front door. It can come in through your children. If they're being, out in the world, educated in the world, and they can bring it right into the home. You just never know how vigilant you have to be. If you don't have the whole armor of God ready for this. I don't know how else to, I don't know how else to explain this to you. I don't. I could be soft-spoken. I could be loud and verbose. I could do all that. I can be angry. I can have a heartbreak. Here's the question, not the delivery. Is it getting in? Are you understanding? This has got to get through. How serious it is. Gentlemen, sisters, brothers. We have to grab hold and hold fast to that which is good. If you want to be prepared for a tough world out there, what's coming, you need to hold fast to what's right in front of you, the book right in front of you. That's a blueprint. That is a map. He's giving you the game plan. You're going to read it. You're going to find out. You're going to look. Believe that and prepare yourself and position yourself. Let's read our last couple of places here. Let's go to Titus. Okay, we're going to go to Titus. And in the first chapter, we're going to read 10 through 13. 10 says this, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, especially some of our own people. Right? One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. The witness is true. Wherefore, rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith. So he said, you know what? You gotta call them on the carpet sharply, that they may be sound in the faith. He said, yeah, it's true. They are like that. And I'm telling you, you mark them, point them out, rebuke them sharply. Nah, we're not trying to hear that. You're wrong. Nope, you're dead wrong. You rebuke them sharply. As a matter of fact, if you keep talking about that, you can go somewhere else with that. Rebuke them sharply. Tough love. Sometimes you gotta love somebody enough to tell the truth. You gotta love them enough to tell the truth. All right. We're gonna go to our last place. Let's go to Proverbs 27. We're going to go to Proverbs 27. Right? And then when we get to 27, we're going to read 5 and 6. And it's really pretty much sums it up, brothers and sisters. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Open rebuke is better than secret love. 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. See, if I correct you, it's because I love you. If I correct you, even if I rebuke you sharply, even if we have a counseling session, if we're on the phone, and I'm saying, no, according to the scriptures, you're dead wrong. You can't do that. That's not right, brother. That no. You are wrong for that. It's because I want you to be righteous. It's because I want you to make it to the kingdom. But the enemy will tell you the opposite, because he doesn't care about your salvation. He doesn't care what happens to you. Care nothing about you or what happens or none of that. Don't care about none of that. Just tell you what you want to hear. And that's the difference. It's telling you what you want to hear versus telling you what you need to hear. What you need to hear might sound like tough love. Because that's what happens to some people. Some people who they're not going to change their mind. They're not. So sometimes they're not looking for an answer. Sometimes they're looking for confirmation. I get calls all the time. I get emails, things like that. And then sometimes they're not looking for an answer. They want confirmation. Here's what I'm thinking. Do you agree with it? Now, will they say it like that? Not really. Not really. But they're looking for confirmation. They're looking for agreement, right? They've already made their mind up. And if I don't say what they want, then there's something wrong with me. Period. I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, sometimes I may even ask, I'm like, okay, do you want confirmation or you want truth? Now, sometimes I do agree. I'm like, no, you're right. You're on the right track. That's it. That's about right. But if I'm compare what you're talking about versus what thus says the Most High, I got to go with Most High. So if you're off, I got to tell you that. But open rebuke is basically tough love. It's tough love, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. Brothers and sisters, I hope that many of you, somebody would get in this message. I hope that any of you would be edified by this particular message. And if so, if anyone can understand that tough love is sometimes necessary, just let me know. Put a 100 in the comment section. Put a 100 in. Let me just let me know. If sometimes tough love is warranted, sometimes tough love is needed. Just let me know. I would like to know. Thank all of you guys for participating in this, following along. Thank you for putting the scriptures down in there for me, stuff like that. Really not for me, but just really for those who are also listening and who join in and stuff like that. And sometimes it take them a little bit, to follow along, So thank you for that. Thank you for supporting the ministry. And thank you for allowing me to come into your home on the Sabbath day, or any other day that you may be watching, but hopefully you get to watch it on the Sabbath day, of course. So until next time, brothers and sisters, Israel, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, Israel.